Hello friends and family, people from all over the world. Welcome to Brussels. This is Place de Jeu de Bal. Beautiful square, as you can see. Lots of vans. There's usually a bustling market here, like a second-hand kind of flea market. But because of the virus pandemic, it's not on at the moment, which is a bit of a shame really, because there's lots of markets still going on in Brussels, normal kinds of markets, you know, where you can buy your fruit and vegetables and all kinds of normal products that you might want to find. But yeah, for some reason here, they're not allowed to operate. So you can see all of these vans belonging supposedly, I guess, to all of the traders. You still sometimes see some people opening the back of their van, selling the odd thing. It's a bit of a shame really. Obviously the businesses around are affected as well. Less and less people coming to the square, so less and less business for the shops around as well. Here we're in a part of Brussels called Marolles, or Marollen in Dutch. It's actually my favourite neighbourhood in Brussels. I really like it around here. It's really authentic. I didn't really discover this part of town until maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago. I used to travel a lot every weekend, that kind of thing, but being here in the city, living here has forced me to kind of travel more within the city, I would say, if that's possible. And it's really been eye-opening. When you think of Brussels, lots of people, they might think of big grey buildings, skyscrapers, capital of Europe, all of that kind of thing. But actually there's a real authentic side of Brussels. So I thought on this lovely afternoon, it's a bit chilly, it's only about 10 degrees Celsius, something like that. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. But I thought I would go out for a little walk this afternoon. I was inside, just had my lunch, watching the football. I think it was Tottenham against Burnley, something like that. 3-0, so I thought, let's get outside, let's go get some vitamin B. Unfortunately the square isn't as sun-baked as I might have hoped. But hey, a couple more hours of sunlight, why not get out and about, see what's going on in the city. Here's a little tourist group having a tour guide. Still going on, socially distanced of course. And here's a famous fry place. It's one of the supposedly best friteries in Brussels. I've actually ordered from there once on, what do they call it, on one of these Uber Eats or Deliveroo, one of those delivery services. Other delivery services are available, of course. But they failed to deliver for some reason. I think they couldn't find my order or something like that, so it didn't happen in the end. Yeah, so here you can see there's a church on the other side of the square. Always ringing every 15 minutes, you can hear it from where I live. Oh, and this is something fairly interesting. Maybe you can see this little bicycle rack here. It's an old style one with a bit of advertising there. Hey. And here's probably my favourite bar on the square. I've not had a chance really to explore many of the bars yet. I only moved to this part of town back in October, I think it was. But I've managed to visit a few of the bars, and this is probably my favourite. It's called Le Marseillais. And the guy who owns it, or who works there at least, he's from Marseille in France, and they serve this, what's it called, pastis drink. Very famous down in that part of France, and he's brought his culture up here to Brussels. It's a great place to go for a drink. Obviously not at the moment, it's closed. But some of the bars are still open a little bit. So here you can get a takeaway beer. I've not actually been myself yet, but maybe that's one for cheat day next week. Maybe next Saturday I'll pop by, get a couple of beers to try. Oh, got some kids shouting. Always a bit of craziness here. So let's have a look on Rue de Renard, Hoogstraat, or in English it would be Foxes Street, Street of the Foxes, something like that. And despite the market being closed, there's still lots of these kinds of second-hand shops open. They're really nice around here. So you've got Foxhole Vintage Shop, very nice. Obviously, Brussels being the capital city, you've got lots of rich people who sometimes they move house and they just want to give their stuff away. So they might sell it or even just give it to one of these kinds of shops. And people love spending hours going through these shops, having a look at the clothes, seeing if they can pick up a bargain. It's got a really nice feel to it, this part of town. It's very authentic, lots of antiques. Some of them worth something, I'm sure, some of them not. Oh, have a look at this chessboard. Look at this. I'm not sure about the contrast between the pieces, but look, that's very nice. Rue de Renard, if you're interested in an old chessboard with, it's got like some kind of probably colonial figures. It's probably politically very incorrect, something like that. Yeah, look, have a look inside this shop. You've got all tapis, these rugs, which you can go and buy. Oh, and have a look at these dolls. They're a bit strange, aren't they? Some of them are naked, not so sure about that. A mask, I know masks are mandatory around town everywhere, but I don't think they fit the World Health Organization's requirements for a healthy mask. And you can see here, there's what I suspect might be some of the traders from down on the square. You can still see the side of the square down there. Maybe coming up here to sell some of their things, or having some kind of partnership with the shops here as well to come and still manage to sell some of their stuff. Ah, speaking of shells, here you go, look. Zeebrugge. That's a little seaside town, about an hour and a half north of Brussels. Wow, what is this? Speaking of shells, you can go to the beach there. Pick up some shells. Wow, look at this. The ruins of Zeebrugge. Lighthouse. And an old map. What else is there in here? A picture of a cabinet. Okay. Fine. An old wedding invitation. Oh no, it's the 30th anniversary of the royal marriage. Looks like fake flowers as well. Plenty of knickknacks you can pick up here, even Belgian flags as well. Oh, have an elephant there for some reason. So, oh, some pipes. Any smoking enthusiasts? You know where to come and get pipes in Brussels. Oh, this is a very nice shop as well. It's a bit more refined than some of the shops back there. Very nice. They sell some local and also some international products here. Achoo. I like this shop. We won't go in today though, it's too nice to go inside today. Salut. Here's another nice shop, Tiki Taki. It's like a bookshop coupled with a few they got like some vintage stuff in there as well. And this is an interesting picture. I've walked past this one a few times recently. Not sure it's my taste, what I would put on my wall, but yeah, interesting. But people still managing to find a way to have a drink outside together. Very nice. Salut. And here we go. This shop I always think is a little bit out of place here. This Darling's Cupcake shop. Very nice. I've not tried any of them yet, but it brings a little bit more of a contemporary feel to the street, I guess. And hey, why not? It's beautiful. Look at these rabbits. Easter is on its way. I mean, it's what, the last day of February today? Yet somehow we're already advertising Easter. We all have a bit of consumerism. Easter is no different, I guess. And here we go. Another shop. Some kind of empty building. I'm sure they're going to do something very creative there. Ah, and now I like this bar. They're selling, obviously all the bars and restaurants are still closed at the moment. But here they've been selling mulled wine over the winter. It's a very nice little restaurant, this, actually. I very often like... Salut. Ah, oui, ça va? Non? Oui, bien sûr, oui, c'était sans vouloir. Désolé. Oui. Ça va? Tu fais toujours le chivapi? Oui. Oui. J'aime bien. Je vous laisse en paix, hein? Merci. And then here we have tapata. It's one of the potato shops here in Brussels. So I've encountered my first resistance to filming around the area. So let's move on quickly, shall we? We don't want to offend anyone. This is Delhaize, local supermarket. It has the logo, a bit like Ajip. Interesting. I bought something here the other day, actually. Gyros de poulet. They had like a little offer on, but when I got home I realised it had mushrooms in, and I don't eat mushrooms. I'm kind of allergic to them. Allergic, not allergic, who knows. They make my head feel like it's exploding, so we won't... I didn't have any of that in the end. Ah, and here's where I go to get my hair cut. Went there the other day, you can see my hair was getting a bit long. They reopened a couple of weeks ago. Salut! As you walk along here, this is called the Hoogstraat, or Ruot, the high street, literally the high street. And you get all of these kind of interesting little art exhibitions going on side by side with these little shops selling stuff. Look, we've got a pig coloured in Renault colours, Formula One, my favourite sport. For some reason they painted a pig with the colours. Not sure if that's a reference to the performance of the cars over the past few years. Although Daniel Ricciardo, I think, got a couple of podiums last season, and Esteban Ocon. And here we go. This is an example of how bars have been diversifying during these tough times. So Le Reservoir Bar, usually a bar where you do like some kind of concerts, DJ sets, stand-up and theatre, it says there. But now they're selling food out on the street. Salut! You can see they got little... Qu'est-ce que c'est ça?
C'est un bain-marie, dedans il y a les saucisses pour les hot dogs.
Ah, so it's like a sauce to put on your hot dogs. Maybe we'll try that on a cheat day. Hot dog's not really what I'm into. Merci.
Avec plaisir.
And then you got this plant shop as well. Look at this parrot. Maybe I'll show you the parrots of Brussels one day. They're not in this part of town, but you find them around. There was like an escape of some parrots in Brussels a few years ago. I'll have to find the whole story for you so you can so I can tell you a little bit about it. Oh, is that like a British flag there? No, I don't think so. It's just the colours. It's another antique shop. Ah, here's a tapas bar, El Fontan, and next door Bar Tapas. I want to check these out when they open back up again. I've never been before, so I'm dying for some tapas. See, travelling a lot. I love travel, so I used to go to Spain several times a year, and now obviously that's not possible. This time of year I might be out in Spain, catching some winter sun. Oh, what's this? Oh, it says fuck off up there. Look, they've got it's a little atelier, this kind of workshop. Oh, they got good beer there from the Brussels Beer Project. Oh, and they're making some kind of protest sign. So, pour que nos vies en soient plus classées sans suite. Okay, and pour l'égalité homme-femme. So it's like a kind of social justice. People here, you can see some signs there as well. They've been doing a little bit there. So for equality between men and women, and who can argue with that? Ah, and here's another of these second-hand clothing stores. Flipkot it's called, which is kind of it's a play on words here. the place where you go to buy your fries, your chips, whatever you call them. It's called a fripkop, and here they called it fripkop because what you do when you get rid of some clothes and somebody buys them is they call it a flip. So they've called this fripkop to kind of get that message across that it's second hand. And here it's a bit strange. You don't, well, not strange, but a bit of a different idea. Instead of buying the clothes, like saying, oh, how much is this one article? Oh, it's €5 or €1 or whatever. You go inside and you just put everything in a bag, and at the end they weigh it, and that's how much you pay for it. And it's €15 per kilo. So it's cheaper than some meats, I think, if you go to the butchers. Look at this beautiful street. Some might say it's ruined a bit by that big grey brutalist tower block behind it, housing empty offices at the moment, no doubt. Ah, yeah, there's the same picture, look, from the shop we saw earlier. Vers le Congo belge et de l'Afrique du Sud. So they're kind of romanticising, obviously, the colonial period in Belgium's history, one which most people these days here in Belgium are not proud of. So it's a bit strange seeing these kind of glorifications of that past. Sabine, the old Belgian airline, it's now called Brussels Airlines, advertising to go off to Africa. You can see more here. Fly Sabine to Europe, Africa, the Middle East. Back when we could do that easily. I mean, technically you still can. There's plenty of YouTubers out there in United Arab Emirates at the moment. Cool. My hands are starting to get a bit chilly, actually. And wow, look at this car. An interesting car, isn't it? What is it? It's a VW Beetle, I think these are called, aren't they? Look at that. Beautiful design, beautiful colours. Probably redone. Cool. Ah, and here we go. Laat ons leven. This is a little campaign I've seen around in the area recently. De parking van de Heilige van het Justitie Palace. Van levensbelang voor de bewoners in het handelaars van de Marolles. So this is basically a protest they've been having. Parking on the slopes near the Palais de Justice, which is like this important building just around the corner. The Justice Palace, they call it. I guess we would call it in British English, at least the Crown Court, something like that. They are essential for the people who live and trade, or who make their lives here in Marolles. In Marollen. So yeah, there must be, I've not looked into it, but there must be something going on, maybe some new reglementation, no, that's not the word, some new rules coming in saying that you can't park up on the slopes. There you go, you can see the slopes up ahead, where people often park their cars during the day, or at night I guess as well, when there's not a curfew, where people park to come down into this part of town, because as you can see the roads are very narrow, and they're all one way, this kind of thing, so it's not a particularly accessible part of town if you want to use a vehicle, which might be nice for urban planning in this day and age. Maybe we don't need our cars so much. And then I have ignored this, I guess, but if you have a look up here, there is this big lift thingy, so to avoid having to walk up the slopes, and if you walk to the top it takes you maybe 4 or 5 minutes, but you can cheat. And I even see some of the delivery drivers, the Uber Eats and the delivery people sometimes going into here. They go up and you can just go across into other parts of Brussels. You've got at the top you've got the start of Avenue Louise, which is like this very exclusive part of town. Maybe that would be a good idea for a video, if I walk from here up to Avenue Louise and show kind of the juxtaposition, probably the best word, between this kind of old authentic part of town and then like all the fancy shops up there. You have Versace's and Calvin Klein's and all of these fancy kind of shops. There you can see this very inventive here as well. People sitting around 3 people sat on that bench. I'm not sure if that's allowed. I'm not serious when I make these little jokes, by the way. People can do what they like within reason. And here's another shop selling clothes by the kilo. €15 per kilo, not bad, not bad. So you can see, look, they've got all these scarves and things in here. People go through, you weigh your scarves, all of this kind of thing, or whatever you're buying, and then at the end they give you a price. It's called the melting pot kilo. Nice, I'm sure there's some bargains to be seen in there. Come and have a look at some point. And then what else have we got? Oh, we got here, Bombay Pekin. Wow, Bombay Pekin Brussels. I guess it's the new Paris, London, New York. Why not? Oh, who's this dude with the moustache? Hello. He doesn't talk. Oh, that's a long thing. It is a Sunday today, so you get a little bit of a different feeling on the weekend here, because it's such an authentic part of Brussels. Lots of people kind of come here to have a look round, but during the week it's a lot more kind of down to earth, laid back. La vie sexuelle de Tintin, Tintin's sexual life. Interesting book. We love our comic books here in Belgium. Oh, here's a soap shop. Actually, maybe a soap shop isn't really the place to go vlogging. I don't think a smell-o-vision has been invented yet. But look, if you're one of these Huns these days, you like your bath bombs or this kind of thing, why not support an independent business? I assume it's independent since 2013. Le Savon de Lina. I would say it smells lovely, but I can't smell through my mask. Ah, and this is a really nice shop over here as well. Across the road. Try not to get run over. A mother and her children. Wow. Very emotive pictures, maybe a bit too personal. This, but you can see inside there's all of these like nice wooden box frames, this kind of thing. There's a nice unit there. I was thinking of getting something like that, but try not to buy too much stuff. Otherwise, when you move house, you've got too much stuff to move, haven't you? Especially when we can travel again. Instawood. I think it's like a play on Instagram or something like that, but I'm not really sure. Here's a nice bookshop, Spanish run. Bohemia Libreria. Here's a drugstore apparently. Oh, apparently you can get a bit of marijuana here from the look of it. It's all trainers and little fake plants, I think. But interesting. Look at that. You can come over this side of the road again. I came here, I think it was last week, I was looking for one of these. Ah yes, here we go, look. We've got, you see all these cutlery here, the knives and forks and spoons. One of these dividers to put them in. Well, I wanted one of those. They wanted €30, or even 35, I can't remember exactly. It was 30 something. But I decided maybe that wasn't the one for me. Maybe I'll pop down to one of the other markets or wait until the second-hand market comes, because at the moment my utensil drawer, I think we call it in English, is yeah, a little bit all over the place, let's say. Oh, here's a Belgian shop. It's genuinely Belgian. Look at it, Belgian Foire, once Belgian. So I wonder what once Belgian are trying to sell. They got what you would imagine. So you got beer or like beer merchandise, too beer or not too. Haha, very funny. Great for tourists. Why not? Some kind of Belgian knickknacks, not vintage or anything. So yeah, look, you can see as we get to the end of the high street now, Rue Haute. You see everything's very, it's very kind of typical Belgian style. They call it Brusselisation, the way the buildings here were were kind of a mishmash put together. No uniformity, no real theme between the buildings. Look, you look up here, you can see the curvature of the toit, the roof of this building, coupled with the kind of straight, brutal design here. And then behind it, you've got this huge skyscraper. Well, it's not huge, is it? Not by most city standards, but you know, it's probably a 25, 30-story building, this one. Just in the background of this lovely street. So yeah, this is a lovely, authentic part of town, but it's very much in the shadow of the rest of the city. Oh look, this is something I've noticed this around. They must have brought these stay 1.5 meter apart signs. You see those? They look like little Pokeballs. Any of you who like Pokemon? And you got this angry coronavirus there, telling you to stay 1.50 meters apart. I guess they're eye-catching. And a sign teaching you how to wash your hands. Probably been up for about a year now. There's a clothes shop, can't tell if it's vintage, second-hand or new. Probably new. Oh, and this little bar over here has been a little bit interesting of late, so let's have a look. They seem to be doing their own thing, let's say. And they've got these little tables outside. You can get your takeaway drinks. How far away you take those drinks, you know, it's up to you really. Oh, look at that little dog. And you can buy a cocktail of the month, a mojito. Why not come to Combi Bar? Give it a try. Inside, wow, look, they've got like a VW camper van, something like that, on its side. I have to go check it out at some point when the bars reopen. But we've got some scouts now running around in the street. So yeah, I think we'll call it a day there. Oh, no, maybe I'll just show you this square up here quickly. So, you got Berlin Fabric here, Berlin Factory place. Berlin Wall, nice place to try burgers apparently. Not tried one myself yet. Place de la Chapelle here. Yeah, I think this is a nice place to end the video. So we've got yet another one of Brussels' hidden churches. There's these huge, massive churches which in many cities, or I think would be, you know, pretty famous sites, but you come to Brussels and there's just these kinds of churches scattered around the city. If you go to places like Schaerbeek or Kokelberg, for example, as well. Kokelberg Basilica is massive. You've got these massive churches, even cathedrals you might call them, depending on which branch of Christianity. I know nothing about religion really, to be honest. If you go to these kinds of places, they're very nice to have a look around, see what an authentic Brussels church is like. You can see people sat out on the square enjoying the last of the weekend sun. Who can blame them? There's a friture over there, like I was saying about the fritkot. So this is it in French, it's called a friture, but in Dutch it's called a fritkot. And accept cash only. Very good way of doing it, I guess, if you want to only handle cash, let's say. Oh, and maybe I can show you some Belgian food. There you go, you see this guy eating the fries over there. And you can see this is what Belgian fries are like. So they serve them in this little thing called a barquette, and then you put the sauce on the top. I also have this thing called a mitraillette. I can't see a picture of one, so maybe I'll show you a mitraillette. Maybe I'll even try one for you sometime. I've tried plenty in my time here, especially as back when I was an intern. So yeah, I think here in the sun-soaked square, it's probably a good place to end this video today. Lovely chatting to you, friends and family from all over the world. and take care. Stay safe wherever you are. Goodbye from Marolles.